You're listening to Head Voice, bringing you inside the minds of the best in contemporary acapella. I'm Evan.
And I'm Kayla, and this week we have Justin Crichfield on the show. Justin is an awesome vocal perk and a talent in the acapella community.
We're really happy to have him on for our second episode. We hope you enjoy.
Hello, everyone. We're here with the wonderful Justin Crichfield, and we're so excited to have him here. Justin, would you like to give us a little introduction about yourself?
Of course. As they said, my name is Justin Crichfield. I am 19 years old. I'm from old rinky-dink Dayton, Ohio. If you've ever heard of Ohio, which you haven't, then yeah, that's great. Basically, I've been doing acapella, I guess, kind of for the real for maybe the past 3 years or so. In high school, I was affiliated with the group Forte from Centerville High School. We were lucky enough to be able to participate in the ICHSAs several times. 2 years ago, we got second place at finals, and then this past year, we actually were lucky enough to be, the champions at finals. After high school, me and a couple of friends started a group, Vocalight. We are just kind of ramping up and finding ourselves right now.
Awesome. So I guess we wanted to start with your background doing Forte. Obviously, you're super lauded in terms of awards and everything there. But we're in a new era where collegiate singers like yourself will have had the chance to work with talented music directors that are, adults and professionals like
For sure.
Ben Spaulding. So I guess I was wondering what it's like learning and performing under him.
It's actually quite interesting because, I guess his resume being that, he's written books, he's kind of had his group has had a lot of success. You would think he's kind of just like this big, intimidating, scary man. But frankly, he's this really kind of spastic, on the spot kind of man. It's like, I have this idea, let's do this. But I think the thing about him that makes people want to work with him, I guess, is just his persistency, if that is a word. Basically, he is so willing to just kind of take the extra mile to get things done. He's willing to kind of talk with people and do all this work. And, he has a family. He's teaching, other choirs at the school. He's got staff meetings, and yet he's, willing to kind of just put so much work into this. Basically, working under him, it's very focused, but it's also very kind of just fun because, he's not really interested in running with an iron fist. But he is, interested in getting kind of quality music that is able to impact people's lives. Ben consistently brings in a bunch of outside arrangers and outside clinicians to kind of talk with the group so that, he isn't the only one giving his opinion, and, the group can get different takes of, what we're doing from them, because it's we focus on mostly the music with him, and he hires other people to be able to work with kind of emotions of songs, songwriting, all this stuff to kind of, make us kind of well-versed in all outlets of performing. Ben's just really focused pretty much.
So awards and recognition and fame aside, what is it that draws you to competing consistently or did in high school?
For sure. I'd say what brought me to competing mostly was just kind of the people you meet. Basically, I had done the finals kind of journey twice. The first time we got second, the first time we got first. You meet a lot of people, right? And so sometimes the people you meet come back and they do it again. And it's frankly so fun being able to see the people that you kind of got to hang out with for a little bit back again, and you ask them how they've been, and you kind of keep up connections, and you kind of just the people that you sing alongside with for this kind of thing definitely become some of your best friends. And what draws me to competition is mostly just being able to see those people again, whether that be the kids or whether that be some of the people who the adults that I've gotten to meet. Just I think acapella definitely tries to bring, or it definitely succeeds in bringing the kind of the most real, authentic people that I've met. And so those people are the people I want to make, my friends. I am now like friends with judges. I'm friends with people who sing in professional groups. I'm friends with people who like arrange. It's like I know all these people now because of my experiences in the ICHSAs.
That's awesome. And speaking of people that you have met, I'm just going to jump into Acapella Academy for a little bit. I know that's a huge network of people who are truly passionate about acapella. So we know that you've gone 3 times. So we were just wondering what drew you back. Why, after the first time, why were you like, I need to go back to this? And what personally did you get out of that experience?
Oh, man. Acapella Academy is just a whole nother beast in itself. It's like, I was auditioning my sophomore year into my junior year, like the summer, because it's like a summer camp. I really had no idea what to expect, I guess, starting that, because, I was like, this acapella camp is starting and it's run by, pentatonics and the people who are like the best in the industry. I've been to summer camps before, but I guess having gone through the Acapella Academy now 3 times, it's like that experience is something that you will never forget. And it's something that it just makes you a better person, really. I guess Acapella Academy is amazing because it brings in this like huge concentration of talent that probably no one has ever kind of been around, and kind of places you in groups and connects you with people that probably you wouldn't be able to if you're from rinky-dink Dayton, Ohio. Being in Los Angeles and being with all of the top in the industry, you kind of get scared, really. I'm like, when I was going there the first time, I was like, okay, like I really can't mess up. Like I really need to kind of like be funny and have like a nice face and like really just like do my best, because like if they remember me as something that's like annoying or like not that good, it's like I'm done, right? Just because these are the people in the industry. But what's funny to me is that having gone through it a couple times, every time I realize that it is not about how well you can sing or like how high you can belt or how high you can riff or how much dubstep you can do in your vocal percussion, but it's like they try to focus so much on kind of how acapella can lift people up and like I guess the emotional side of it, because everybody knows that those singers are like the top of their craft in wherever they are from. So they focus so little on music and so much about kind of fellowship and camaraderie and just kind of making a network of people across the world, really, that kind of can help lift everyone up together and kind of help people through trying times. And the people you meet there, you really feel like you have known them for years, just because everyone there is like willing to kind of be real with you. There's no like pettiness. There's no like kind of badness there. It's so rich in emotion. I really feel like the people that I met through the Acapella Academy, I can text at any time and say, hey, like, I'm going through a rough time right now. Like, can I have some help? And they're more than willing to stop what they're doing and just talk to me. I think they focus so much on the emotional side of it, but they kind of subconsciously kind of push the musical side as well, because they give you so many challenges that you just kind of have to work on the fly with. Me as a vocal percussionist specifically, basically you're placed in a group based on the genre that they think you can work on best. In that group, you kind of have no idea how these people sing, how these people groove. I mostly had to work with the bass of my groups, because, we've got to lay down that sweet foundation. But it's really interesting to kind of work with various people because, in the professional world, you're going to be like, you have the potential to be working with, anyone really. So it's something where, when I started Acapella Academy, I was, this was my first experience going into something as like the actual vocal percussionist. Basically in Forte, I started my sophomore year and I actually started as a singer. I like did not know how to do vocal percussion at all. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And basically I learned some stuff from the old vocal percussionist, Charlie Arthur. And basically through that, I was able to audition for the Academy as a vocal percussionist, which I frankly hadn't done that much of. And they, accepted me as that. And so, I got to take the reins there and kind of be in that position where, everyone is leaning on me to kind of, lead sort of. I guess Acapella Academy taught me how to be a better person, a more real person, a stronger musician, a stronger singer, a stronger dancer, even like a better producer. Everyone, you can talk to these people at any time and kind of ask them how they do what they do, and they just tell you.
Awesome. So I guess from my point of view, Acapella Academy is essentially setting you up to pursue a semi-pro group like Vocalight, like you're doing right now, which is formed in the past year. How is this experience different, the same from being in Forte, and then what from Acapella Academy and your experiences in life have like set you up to be where you are right now with that group?
For sure. I guess what's different from Acapella Academy and Forte is just Acapella Academy has a really, really strong professional sense. And I don't mean that Forte is not professional. I think it's just like, Forte is kind of like, it's all your buddies, and like Mr. Spaulding isn't exactly like the most like stern man. So he's kind of like a pal as well. But like Acapella Academy is surrounded by professionals, and you're like, I think that we had to get a lot more done much faster than we had to do in Forte ever, because we had to prepare 3 songs that were really, really kick butt really, really quickly. And we had to kind of go through that journey of like, okay, you guys got the notes. That's awesome. Like now let's kind of get some phrasing. Let's get the emotion in the song. Let's get some choreography down. Let's kind of see how this relates to everybody and kind of make that click. In Forte, we get so much time to kind of prepare for that. And there are times that like we go over notes in class, but Acapella Academy is like the real deal. It's like exactly like if you were in like a professional group, you be like preparing for a kind of a show. Because sometimes it's not always with people you choose. Like sometimes you're just called for a gig and you're like, hey, you need to sing 5 songs, Uptown Funk, Bang Bang, etc. So I think Acapella Academy prepared me for the professional kind of side of things, just because it kind of taught me that kind of everyone has things going on in life, and everyone can kind of relate to each other in that sense. But it's something where when you are in rehearsal, you are focused, and it doesn't matter if you work for 6 hours. The time that you spent focusing is really the time you spent rehearsing. We had like 1 hour chunks when we rehearsed, and that was much more helpful than, if in Forte, like we did like a 4-hour rehearsal on a Saturday, but some of us were kind of like off topic or like kind of gotten out of the loop. A steady stream of focus is something that can really kind of be the game changer between like, oh yeah, they were pretty good. It's like, wow, like that was amazing. Like that really, really affected me. And it's something where we just got to understand the idea that, time does not equate to kind of competency, I guess.
So the professional a cappella world, I think, skews a little bit older, and I think Vocalight is exceptional for, the fact that you guys are all pretty young, probably like the youngest group that's like kind of come on the scene since Pentatonic. So like what is it with, the specific people in your group and your specific chemistry and like the talent level that's there that is making it so far such a successful collaboration?
I guess all 5 of us come from a cappella groups. The 3, me, Natalie Spiroff, and Sophia Rosado, come from Centerville High School's Forte. We were all in the group that went to finals and got first place. We all kind of knew each other in that sense, so we had a good kind of clicking with one another. And we were all, when I was first contacted about doing the group, like, they both were kind of the standout people in the group, because like they were really the ones that were like, hey guys, like let's get focused. Like we like, I know this is hard right now, but like we can really push through, and like they are really, really strong singers. The 2 others, Joe Schlangen and Holly Jennis, were also in a different high school group called 11th Hour. They I guess they had a really good experience with small groups, because Forte was kind of a larger group, like 16 to 20 generally, and 11th Hour was 9 to 12. So I think they had a good outlet when it came to small groups. But I think we are able to click in the way that we are just because we kind of live by that rule of like, once you're in rehearsal, like let's just get focused. Like we frankly don't meet all that often for that long, but I guess we try to make it a goal that we kind of stay as focused as possible in that small time, and then like once we're done, like just kind of, you know, do whatever. But being friends with the people in your group and knowing that they have your back is something that is incredibly helpful. And when also like coincidentally, like the singers are like amazing in the group, it's great to be able to have those people with you. And because it's such a small group, you know, we have kind of the pressure of, you know, everybody has got to be on lock with their parts. There can't be like any like failed tuning or anything like that. But, you know, we all trust in each other, kind of keep that up. And we, I guess, just get lucky with it sometimes.
That's awesome. You've had so many cool experiences just from starting in Forte and then Acapella Academy and Vocalight. And I'm just wondering, now that you're in college, in your first year of college and studying music ed, what do you think is next for you? There's just so many different opportunities and so many different areas of acapella that you can venture off into. So, well, yeah, what's next for you?
Oh, for sure. I guess my last year in Forte with everyone, I kind of started dabbling in the production side of acapella, like producing acapella. Like just recently, I started like working with groups that contact me in like I record them and I edit them and kind of send it to other people to do, you know, other stuff. But I guess I've just kind of started to explore that side. And like I was even lucky enough, like I just recorded a song called Freedom, originally by Beyonce, for a group called Ars Nova from the Miami Valley School. Basically, you know, I recorded them, but, you know, when we sent that off to the Caras, they actually were, you know, nominated for a Cara. And I was like, oh, like, that's super cool. Like, you know, something I worked on just got, you know, a Cara. But I think what's next for me is I'm really looking to kind of expanding kind of like Vocalights kind of fan base. Like we are, you know, in this first few, I think it's been 8 months now, 9 months maybe, we have just mainly been focusing on kind of finding our sound, being able to kind of work with each other and see how each other vibes and how they sing. But I think right now what I'm looking to kind of move forward towards is kind of just making this more a kind of like a full-time thing. Meeting more often, being able to arrange as a group, you know, being able to kind of get more gigs. We're looking at a lot of plans over the summer as possible things. We're looking into right now like an overseas tour, which I think is just really interesting. You know, who knows if that'll work out, but we've been in contact with a lot of different people about what is next for us. We're also working on like our first album. Like we're really trying to get that in lock over the summer. I think what I am looking to do next is just kind of have a more full schedule of mostly Vocalight stuff. That's our kind of end all be all goal, is like, you know, we all want to be full-time performers. So in my future, I'm hoping that, you know, maybe I'd really like to do that.
That sounds great. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm a big fan of Vocalight myself, so I'm really looking forward to what you guys are putting out there. Just want to thank you again for coming on the show.
Of course.
That was Justin Crichfield. Tune in next week for a new episode of Head Voice.
That's when we kept dancing, changing all our plans and making every day a holiday. Feel the years start burning, city lights, they're turning, and something about this